bear. You follow Mama Bear.
Hitting the wrong button again, damn it. Okay. Let's see if he's here yet. Yeah, I don't see him. He's saying he's looking at the invites now. Does anybody see Proxy Zero? His tune here? He's supposedly here, but I can't see him.
I'm still waiting on the friend request to be accepted so then I can invite them.
Same here.
If you guys want to whisper me, you can just join my small party and we'll follow together. Are you in the guild?
Sorry, Melissa.
Okay, I have a second group going. As Kizix, if anybody's struggling and needs an invite.
I'm sorry, Tree, you said something and Melissa was talking too. I couldn't hear you.
Fine. If anybody needs to join a second party, if they can't get in the raid because it's full, you can whisper me too.
Okay.
I'm on Kodama. I have the lantern on the right.
Tree, if you see Craig's character logged into game, can you invite him? He's texting me, but I don't have the...
Is he still in the guild?
Proxy is in.
I don't see him on.
He can't log in. He's trying to get into
Okay.
a live stream. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Everybody.
No, it's okay. We're trying to make sure everyone gets here so we can start.
That's okay. I'm just stressing because we're being held up and
No, it's okay.
everybody's texting me.
You are good.
Take a deep breath.
That time. No,
It's overwhelming, but we're all here.
I'll say it in
Thank you,
chat
guys.
in case anybody's not in a group yet and they're near me. I have the lantern on the right under that arch. If you want to come in our small group, I can always convert it to a raid if it gets too full.
Is Justin here too?
Justin is, I think, or he's watching one of the streams because he.
Okay.
I'm in stream, just kind of like watching on stream instead of in game.
He's on his
Oh, well, I got your message. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
All right, once we start
and
again,
Aaron and Tree too.
I'll do the cinematic kind of mode again.
Proxy's in. Are we good to go now?
Oh, he turned into what's her name?
Okay, 1 second. Melissa
Melissa's
needs
wife.
to
Do a ready check.
No, that's
Can't do
too
a ready
much.
check. It only covers 40 people. This is really on. We're all waiting
All right.
for rally, so.
I am ready. Are we all ready?
Yeah.
Proxy, are you in Discord with us? Matt? All right, shall we begin?
Go ahead and start walking. We'll follow.
When you're ready.
All right, I'll bring up the.
And which way are we
Over here.
going?
We are taking a
Left?
left. Sorry for the
Yeah.
delay, everyone.
If somebody will just direct me as where to go.
Gonna make a right after the auction house.
Thank you.
No
apologies needed.
Look at the kids running with us.
change
They
the
kinda were
whispers.
running
I'm
with
like,
us for a
what
little
the
bit.
heck? I wasn't seeing them.
It's so cute.
We'll be making a left out.
Somebody shrink this guy.
Right?
He got phased
Oh,
out.
good.
Good deal. After the bridge, we'll be making a right, following the outside to Lion's Rest.
I like how he
Thank
got
you.
phased out. That was great. When phasing works in your favor.
Left or right?
We will be going down the stairs to the straight ahead.
It's gonna dismount everyone if we get too close to
Right down the stairs.
Gann or Anduin.
That to the memorial.
Or I don't know, this might be a weird phasing thing.
Callie, there's
I don't
someone
know.
in Twitch chat named RJ Floyd that wants to say that they love you and that they miss Jarod. They were one of the first people that interviewed him.
I know who RJ is. Tell him I love him dearly. Thank you so much.
Aww.
You're welcome.
And tell him I'm really proud of him for the first cosplay he did for body positivity, because that took guts and he was awesome. Please.
Thank you. I'll let him know.
Thank you.
RJ is a doll.
As we arrive at the memorial,
Yes, he is. Yes.
I'll be joining Callie up on the lower part of the steps. If everyone wants to gather around at the bottom set of the steps, if you wish to be mounted, please be in the back. Otherwise, please dismount. You can either stand or kneel.
Sorry, I was on auto follow.
Matt, are you in yet?
I'm only staying mounted because Jarod bought me this mount.
Aw.
You bought me mine too.
Oh, this music. It's too much. Oh.
Everyone is here that is here. Don't mind the people that invited themselves. Thank you for today for joining us for today's service commemorating Jarod Lee Nandin. We know he was a big influence in the community, and I know everyone who has not met each other physically, we all have a link through Jarod. Today we'll be commemorating his memory. A young man who was taken unfairly, but we all know that he touched all of us. If he were here today, you know that he would be joining us. And of course, in the middle of it, spamming his own memes and saying his own thing, but still encouraging everyone. You could, if you please, for the respective services, if you could please mute your mic or not have your push to talk, so then that way, Callie, Jared's mom, can give a eulogy for Jarod.
Now?
Whenever you're ready, Callie.
I had something prepared, and I didn't think it was good enough, and I realized that no matter what I write, it's not going to be good enough because it won't encapsulate who he was to all of us. I only know that I have a huge hole in my heart, and I've learned that he belonged to so many people, not just me, and I know you guys are grieving like I am. But he truly was a wonderful child. He was special from the very beginning, and honestly, when he was very young, I just kept saying, I don't know how I got this kid. I don't know what I did, but I'm so glad I did it because I don't deserve him. And I was so happy that he touched so many and helped so many people. 3 people contacted me and said that if it wasn't for Jarod, they wouldn't be alive today. And nor would their kids be alive. And that just, makes me so happy that just when we go about our day, our everyday lives, if we can pull ourselves back from conflict, yelling at people on the freeway, and politics, and just remember that if we focus on what's good, like Jarod did, the good things will happen and come to us. And he just loved everybody, no matter what, race, creed, gender identification, sex, anything. He accepted everyone, no matter what. And I just ask that we all remember him and do the same. And I am so touched that everybody's here. This is just amazing, and I thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Callie. If there's anybody else who wish to say some words for Jarod, please come up to the front. And when you're finished, please step down.
I will if you guys let me.
Yes.
Go ahead.
He was one of the best persons I ever met. And I can say, Callie, that he was one of the brightest persons I ever met in my life. He believed in me when nobody else did. And he always encouraged me to be better every day. The last thing he said to me, it was, "I'm proud of you." And I'm really sure that I will make him proud, whatever he's now. You gave us one of the best persons ever. And I know I live so far, I wish I could give you a big hug, the big hugs that I gave him, Callie. We really love him. We love you, Callie. And I wish I can say it in my mother language now, but I know I'm going to be crying all the life. But
if you need to say it in your mother language, you go right ahead, sweetheart.
Okay. Él fue una de las personas, de las mejores personas que he conocido. Creyó en mí cuando nadie más creía en mí. Me daba ánimos para absolutamente todo. Y realmente sus abrazos eran realmente reconfortantes. Lo vamos a extrañar mucho, lo queremos mucho. Callie, we love you, te queremos mucho. And he was the best thing ever that happened in my life, for real. Él fue lo mejor que pudo haberme pasado en la vida. That's it, sorry.
Nothing to be sorry for. That was beautiful. Thank you. I'm so sorry you're hurting. I really am. And I know
Don't be sorry. It's
he
because
loved
we
you
love
too.
you. We love him a lot.
I'm here, you guys. I can't fill his shoes, but I'm here for you and love you all. Anybody else want to come up here?
I know I don't just speak for myself, but thank you for bringing such a wonderful human being into our lives.
Thank you for that. I can't take credit though.
So I just wanted to really quickly share just the story of how I met Jarod, because it's so funny and so him, and just showed me who he was as a person. So we actually randomly met at the World of Warcraft Cataclysm launch in Fullerton, and it was like 40 degrees or something. Just, it was really cold, and they had a contest for people to go up on stage and do WoW dances, and he decided to do the ogre dance. And if you know what that is, it's the Chris Farley dance, and he ripped off his shirt and was on stage. It's 40 degrees out, and he just did that, and it was the funniest thing, and we were friends ever since that, and I just will always cherish that and remember that, because God, everyone was laughing so hard. I wish I had a video of it, but it was fantastic. And Callie, thank you for letting all of his friends here kind of come up and say something. I really appreciate it, and I miss him.
I know, sweetheart. Thank you so much for that. That's a great story, by the way. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wishes to say anything?
Yeah, I will. I just want to thank him for bringing so many wonderful people together. He brought us so much closer. His kindness seriously never could be beat. I could only hope to be a fraction of what he was. And I guess I'll still never know if he really got the job.
That's the best.
Oh,
We love
God.
you, Drea.
All the in-jokes are great.
Everybody.
Love you too, sweetheart. Thank you for everything. Just so everybody knows, Tree organized the most massively difficult task, apparently, and is going to be taking Jared's cats. And I'm so relieved and happy. Thank you.
Oh,
Tree.
Thank you.
Oh, don't
They're safe.
fall apart,
they're
Aaron.
happy,
I love you.
and I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, I want pictures of my grandchildren, girlfriend.
I'll give them to you every single day.
Love you.
Aaron, I'm really nervous, and I'm having. I don't know.
It's okay, baby.
Just take your time. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, sweetheart. Go ahead.
It's
Let
funny,
it out.
Me and Jared, I met Jared through, through mutuals, really, and he friended me after I defended somebody on a cosplay forum, and that's how we became friends. And from then on, we've just, we tried to build each other up, and we, I'd always go to him with problems, he'd come with me to problems, but it would, one way I can describe what our friendships is, we aggressively loved each other. I would message him and just be like, I love you, motherfucker! And he'd be like, I love you, bitch! And, the fact that we were so, to have somebody in my life and a friend that was just so open about their love and their affection for somebody, and, it's, there's a big hole and I don't know how to fill it now. I've never lost somebody this close to me before, and this is so hard. It's hard though to be sad for that long though, because then you just think of the funny shit he says and the memes and everything, and it's just, that's the hardest with everything that's going on in the world. I want to send him all this fucking funny shit, and that's comforting. Is I get sad and then I get pulled back because of the person he was. He knew how to make people feel special. Everyone he met, he just poured himself into making sure in that moment you were the most important person to him. And the fact that I recognize and I get to call him my friend, that's pretty fucking special. So he had a way with people, and we all get to call him friend, and I think that's pretty fucking cool. So thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you, sweetheart. That was great. Anybody else?
Good to go. Oof. So, I met Jared about 7 years ago in a really rough spot of my life. He helped me more so get out of a really abusive relationship, and he really kept building me up back then when I was super young, still in high school, and he taught me a lot on don't ever give up on yourself, don't ever give up on others, and try to help as many people as you can. Because that's one thing that Jared did, is he always tried to make everyone around him smile. I'd talk with him for hours about just stupid shit like Dune. And so many other things, but I just wish, I wish that even in myself, all of us, that we could be a fraction of how amazing of a person he was, how many people he just helped, and how many people loved him, because he, out of all of us, I truly believe he lived a good life. He had so many friends, so he was happy. He just was a good person and led a good life, and I would not be here if not without him. I thank you.
Thank you so much for that, and I'm so glad he made such an impact on your life. I really am. And I remember Jared talking about you, and I'm so happy that you're still here, and just thank you for that.
Thank you.
Come on up.
Hey all. So, I, much like pretty much everybody here, Jared, he always had a way of turning a really bad situation into something that you could laugh at and really be comfortable with. I remember, I had started raiding with everyone in his guild, and I was going through a breakup at the time, and I remember he found a way to make me just laugh about it all. And I know a lot of us might be doing this as well, but just I'm really grateful that sorry, a couple months ago I reached out to him for his anime recommendations, because he always had such good taste, and he responded with voice memos, and I know I can't be the only one doing this, but I'll just go back and I'll just listen to him, because even when we were just talking about anime recommendations, he was always so fun and kind and just always there. It's one of the things that made him so special. And I told him this after when he was posting about how things were going, and I know that I, for the rest of my life, will carry him in my heart and make sure that I can just try to be a fraction of how kind and loving that he was, and try and spread that same joy that he spread. And when we were walking over here, I was thinking about it. Even all the random people that were just coming by and had no idea what we were doing, he would find that stuff so funny. Even the people that were just being just, they didn't know, but they were being disrespectful. He would find that stuff so funny. And if nothing else, I'm just glad that all of us can carry him inside each of us for the rest of our lives. Because he's something special. So, thank you guys for being here, and I love you all, really.
Love you, Animus.
Love you too,
I
Animus.
love you.
That was really
Love
great.
you. That was beautiful.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Hi, I met Jared 7 years ago at WonderCon, and it was right after NWBZPWNR, and I told him how much his encouragement for everyone cosplaying who doesn't have a socially acceptable body or style or face, he just made everyone feel happy about cosplaying. And the last time I got to see him in person was at WonderCon a few years ago, and I shared my room with him so he would have a place to stay. And it was just a wonderful experience. My roommate and her boyfriend at the time were staying in the room as well, and I remember one night when I just wasn't feeling really well, I fell asleep listening to them laughing and yelling, "Oh my god," along with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I'm so sad that I didn't have more chances to see him and get photos with him, but I'm so glad I have those memories of the times I did get to hang out with him to take with me, and the memes, the freaking when he was going through the Warhammer kick and he had all those memes of him as the God Emperor and he was calling himself God Emperor of Memekind, and I would just laugh myself sick at all the stupid memes. And he would just be falling all over himself with joy if he could see the Bernie memes from the inauguration. And I keep finding myself seeing a meme that it's like, oh, I need to send this to Jarod, he would love it. And so thank you, everyone, and I guess we should all just try to be the Jarod we want to see in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that. I'm sorry you're hurting.
Hey guys, I don't know if, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
This is not exactly easy for me to do. I'm not one that's very good with words, but Jarod and I had a very close relationship for a very long time. I'm sorry. Jarod sent me a message, and I wanted to read it to you guys because I think it's really important. He said, something very traumatic happened to me back in 2016, and Jarod immediately got on the phone and called me and talked to me, and then later we ended up, just going back and forth with Facebook messages, and this was something that he had said to me. He was suffering with a little bit of depression, but he wanted to tell me that, he said, I'm trying to fight it. I want to have a piece of my life that can live on, so my dad would be proud of me. I love my mom. Jared's mom, this is for you too. He said, I love
Thank
my
you.
mom, and I'm fighting so hard to be happy for her as well. I love my friends, and I want them to remember me for who I am. I don't want my dad's legacy to end with me. I know what you're going through, Lori, and I love you, and I'm so sorry. I'll keep fighting if you keep fighting. And I told him, with how things go on in the world, Jarod, you're always there for people. You fight for the oppressed, the lonely, the depressed. You've introduced me to so many wonderful people in the cosplay community, in the gaming community. Your dad would be so proud of you, and your mom is so proud of you. And that is the legacy that you are passing on through all of us. I will always love Jarod. I'll always remember him. And I hope that you guys know that this is what he wanted, was for all of us to be together. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. And I remember him telling me about you. He's so concerned about you, and he loved you dearly.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. I wanted to add on to that side. A lot of people here knew him through the cosplay and everything, and that's where I first met him. And very quickly, our relationship, our friendship, turned into something a lot bigger than that, I guess, even though I really only have the one picture of him at his desk. But he inspired me to cosplay at BlizzCon the following year after that big year that he had, and I would have never done that. I have a huge fear of speaking in front of people and struggling with that now, but knowing how much you guys meant to him and he meant to you, it helps. But I walked the stage at BlizzCon in my costume, which was on my bucket list to do before I had kids. And then I very quickly popped out 4 of them in a row. And every time I would announce that we were pregnant or that we had just had the baby, he was one of the first people to contact me. And he was always so supportive and made me, when I was a Humpty Dumpty pregger woman, feel like, you know, I was still back in high school with my perfect body and everything. So he brought out the best in people, and he eased your concerns about yourself and helped you feel stronger and more confident. We also bonded over our fathers. They declined in health and with their mental abilities about the same exact time. They passed away around the same time. We both struggled with that a lot. And now every time I go down to my fridge and grab some ice cream, even if it's not chocolate, I think of that video he posted of his father eating the ice cream and how excited he was to see him in better spirits that day. And so now whenever I sneak some ice cream, I always think of the 2 of them, even though I never met his father. Jarod had such a great way of making an impact on people. No matter how far the distance, and no matter what the content or context of their connection was. Mama Bear, you're in my heart every single day. I can't even start to imagine what you're going through right now.
Thank you.
But I think about you and I send you my love and my strength and my positive energy. And I have my husband and my kids, but I've lost all of my other family. And it's a difficult feeling to feel that. And you raised such an amazing human being, and I find so much comfort in everybody here because he's still here. And like you said, look for the signs and you'll see him. He's still trying to talk to us and send us messages. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Somebody had sent a message in Discord, Natalie Karuba. I'll read what she wrote. I know I won't be able to get through what I want to say if I tried here in voice chat, but I wanted to share my memories with Jarod through here. He and I connected 7 years ago through our cosplay Facebook pages and quickly became friends. We shared the same love of retro anime and cartoons and crude humor. We joked that we were each other's waifu and husbando, and would laugh as we got older, and that our husband/wife would make fun of me and Jarod and our stupid jokes together. I am heartbroken that we will not be able to see each other again get old. He was truly the most kind and wonderful person I have ever had the pleasure and will always hold a special place in my life. If I could be a fraction of an amazing human being he was, that is going to be my life and goal. Or goal in life. Callie, I can't begin to imagine the pain you're in and the journey you have ahead without Jarod. We all love you so much, and we want to be the support for you that we had in Jarod. He is the most precious friend I had, and I know he was the same to many of you. I love you all so much.
Thank you very much for that.
Is this working?
Yes.
Yeah.
A measure of a man is his dick size, is what he would probably interrupt to say if I started my sentence that way. But really, a measure of him is how you're remembered. From all the people who are taking part of this wake to the thousands of random people on the internet who are heartbroken by his loss, as I saw proof of it on Reddit. I met Jarod at Animagic more than 10 years ago. My most vivid memory of Jarod and being shorter than he is, I knelt down to take a picture with him, and his first reaction was to give me a sexual innuendo, because that's him in essence. And then, in the costume I was wearing, he borrowed my spiky wig, and then put it over his crotch, and then said, "Hey, look, crotch hair." In December, he said he didn't want to be bothered his friends for posting his status of being in the hospital. And to which I immediately replied that we'd haunt him and kick his ass if he went quietly in the night. But when I did see his Facebook status, I had a terrible dread of the possibility, since he said it was possibly COVID-19. And my first reaction was to immediately go onto Cameo and book John Delancey, because I thought a message from Q would probably help him power through his illness, whatever he was there for. I will always remember that he gave the warmest hug in the cosplay community, and I will miss him forever.
Well met. Go with honor, friend.
So, like everybody else here and through community throughout the world, I didn't meet Jarod directly. I met him through a mutual friend, a mutual friend. And they showed me who he was, and I was like, okay, that's cool. He's the Blizzard guy. That's awesome. And then I didn't really think much of it. But then I finally met him, and from BlizzCon, and he was such a cool guy, and he always made time for everyone. It didn't matter where you were. If you were chilling outside of BlizzCon with him, you invited him to the restaurant. He always made time on Messenger. He was a person that would give his shirt off his back to give to somebody else. And we didn't keep in close contact. We were not close friends. I maybe messaged him once every 6 months to a year, but you better believe every time we went to BlizzCon, and even though he was sitting outside, we would go find him, and we'd sit and chat, and he would remember you. And it was so wonderful that he would remember you, remember what you talk about. And even if it wasn't just for friendly stuff, the meme stuff, he's a meme lord. He was a vault. You asked, like, hey, I need this particular meme for a friend. He had it. And he was always happy to help everyone out, and he was never selfish about anything. I remember I took a picture of trying to leave Anime Expo, and then he took the picture, turned it into the meme saying, "Don't complain, because there's people trying to leave Anime Expo right now." And I said, hey, you took my photo. He goes, oh no, that's cool. Here's the credit. We collabed. That's awesome. But he always talking with everyone, and everyone who's online, who says all these negative things, and they just don't know. They don't know Jarod. They don't know how much of a positive person. And even if they said, anything about him, and if it was negative, he'd shrug it right off and just didn't care. And he's such a great friend, and I still feel it's very unfair of what happened. But in the last month, with everything going on, he's been keeping me. I know he's been keeping other friends grounded because we still have this wonderful memories of him. And though we may not have him, I still have memory of him. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yuki.
Is there anybody else who wishes to say any more words?
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
V, does your mic work? Oh, we can hear you just very quiet. We can always turn your volume up. Hold on. If you can't hear, right-click her name and drag it up. You can go, V. Go ahead.
Okay. So I feel like I'm a bit late to knowing Jarod compared to a lot of other people here because I'm Australia. And the way that I met him was a little bit strange. So I was arriving in LA, International Airport. I only knew one person in the city, and they abandoned me in the airport. And so here I am in an international city in the airport, suddenly don't know anyone, don't have anywhere to stay, and I'm freaking out. And Jarod messages me because we have mutual friends and just sent me memes. And honestly, those memes got me through a really scary and tough day. And I think that's really the thing about Jarod is that he's one of those people that was there for us in times where nobody else was, or we were feeling really isolated with what we were going through and struggling to work out how we were going to get through the other side of whatever was happening. And even a few years later, I started, having all these anxieties about being a cosplayer, and wanting to take a break from it. And I was having my own health issues at the time. And he was one of the few people that actually took the time to go, okay, well, why do you cosplay? Is it for them? Like, what have you had that's been a good thing from cosplay? And also we can cosplay together, come to another convention, we'll hang out, it'll be great, forget about them, and sent more memes. So I think this is like the thing that keeps us all here is the fact that Jarod gave us confidence and courage. So he's one of those personalities that really is a lighthouse when you're going through a stormy sea, and it's such a huge testament to his character and the way that he's shaped all of our lives and raised the bar for all of us in so many different parts of our lives. We carry a little bit of him with us in everything that we do now. And I think I'm not alone in feeling like I'm a better person for knowing him.
Thank you very much. It looked like there was someone else who wanted to talk. Did I turn something off? I can't hear anything.
They said they have no mic. Maybe someone can read it for
Oh,
us.
could somebody do that? But did he get the job?
This is Aaron. I don't want to step on anyone's thing, but like when the coffin meme thing was going on, he asked if somebody would make sure that it happened in the event of. I just feel like I need to get like 6 people off to the side and do some slash dancing. So after this, if I could get some volunteers, I'd really appreciate to make a meme for him.
I'll help with that.
Same.
Definitely down.
Somebody read that for.
I will. So Jarod and I met at BlizzCon. Funny enough, my boyfriend was friends with him a while ago in Anime Magic, I believe.
Thank you.
He has helped me so much through my abusive relationship. This guy was hitting me emotionally and physically. This guy was married. I was in this for 7 years, forced to have no friends to talk to, no girl or guy friends. I was all alone. He knew something was wrong when we talked. He had no idea a girl like me, who's shy and quiet, was going through so much. He always offered to come over to help. Sorry, I think I clicked off in the middle of that. He had no idea a girl like me, who's shy and quiet, was going through so much. He always offered to come over to his place whenever I had my breakdowns. And I say, sorry, I'm shaking, crying so my typing is off. And that is perfectly okay.
Take your time. It's fine.
He would always make me laugh with his jokes and tell me that everything will be okay. Said that I was strong and I'll get through and out of that hellhole, that I would make the right choice for myself. Whenever I needed someone, he will always be there for me, no matter what. Last time with him was 2019 BlizzCon. He took us to a nice restaurant, Ethiopian food. That's going to be like my last memory of him. I'm sad and happy that I was able to spend time with him. But we're definitely gonna go there as much as in his memories. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You who from Discord has written, my wife Jane and I are sitting in our family room listening and watching on live stream. I realized looking around the room the last time we were together was he needed a place to stay while he waited to pick up a friend from LAX. His friend's flight was delayed till the next morning, so he stayed the night. He couldn't bear to look how disorganized our anime collection was, so he rearranged them all by type, and time. They're still like this today. A Wicca had written, the first conversation Jarod and I had was about the loss and the impacts on the hearts of those who we loved, those who have passed on. After he passed away, I reread those messages and cried so much. We first started talking at a really rough time in my life and was the biggest cheerleaders when I had victories overcoming the crap I had been going through. I miss him dearly and wish I had been able to hug him at least once in my life. Stacy had written in Discord, I have no mic, but I wanted to share. I inadvertently crashed a dinner party at a few BlizzCons back that Jarod was hosting. He welcomed me and my husband as if we were invited and spent the evening chatting. We stayed in touch after that, and the next year, my husband was deployed during BlizzCon and I was nervous to go alone. Jarod reached out and promised not to let me feel alone, and he kept that promise. But later, a friend in the BlizzCon community hurt me deeply. Jarod caught wind of this and quickly rushed to my aid. He built me up with just a few sentences, something I have always found amazing about Jarod. He said everything he said clicked for me. It just made sense. When the war injured my husband and I felt out of control, there would be Jarod in my inbox with a touch of humor and a hell of a lot of heart. He was a piece of perfect. The Horde honors him today. For Azeroth, for Jarod, thank you, my friend.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. Thank you. All right, and I have something to read from Matt Brooks later. No, come back up, sweetie. Come back up. You go first.
Okay, thanks. The Horde does honor him today. I'm a notorious Horde player, and Jarod would love to know that I created an Alliance character just to be here today. He's probably laughing right now, knowing that. I met Jarod in 2013 when he was cosplaying South Park for the first time, and I stupidly grabbed his Rockstar Energy drink off of it, even though it was glued to the table, and I broke it. And
I remember.
Oh my God. And I've never been so embarrassed. I was profusely apologizing, and he just was roaring laughing and making fun of me. And he never let me live it down. Like every time I saw him, he would bring it up and talk to me about it. And the following year, I became the host of the convention, and we recreated the photo of when I broke it off of his table. And every year when I went, I would see him the night before in the Hilton lobby. It was right when I arrived. Every time I would check in, and I would be going over to the elevators, and he would be right there. And he'd come up to me, and he would run up, and he'd give me a giant hug, and we'd stand there and talk. I didn't even go up to my room. I would sit there and talk to him for 30, 40 minutes and just catch up and talk about BlizzCon and all the things that he was excited for and all of his predictions of what he thought was going to be announced. He was one of the most positive people I've ever met in my life. And from everyone's stories here today, you can tell how much of a capacity he had to care about everyone. He took time for people that everyone should learn from. He was able to reach out and find what was hurting you and help you through it, even if you weren't saying it out loud. I think he will be greatly remembered in this community. And I think it's a testament to the Warcraft community at large, to his guild, to his mom who's here. The Warcraft community, you guys did a good thing today. This is a good thing. I think he would be so moved by the fact that you put together an in-game wake. It's really amazing. I don't really know what else to say, except for I've got this one little toy, the Sylvanas music box. It's Lament of the Highborn, which I think is one of the most beautiful songs of all time. So, my cat just moved my keyboard. So here you go. There's Lament of the Highborn. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Jarod. You will be so missed.
I just want you to know that when you took that can off his desk, he called me pretty close to right after that happened, and he's like, Mom, guess what? And I'm like, what? And he's like, some girl walked up and tried to drink my Rockstar soda, ripped it right off my desk. It was great. And
Horribly
he just
embarrassing.
You do not know how much pleasure and how happy that made him. He told me that story as if he had dementia. He would tell it over and over. You just made his day. He was so tickled, and I want you to know that, yeah, he just thought you were great. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. He's one of the best people in the whole world. And I just as a side note too, thank you somebody for taking his cats, because I've thought about those cats so many times.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Tree and Justin. Yeah, I am so happy they're going to go to such a loving home. And you guys look out, because there is so much cat shit and toys like you wouldn't believe. Those cats have everything except for a Barbie dream house.
If he wants me to get him one of those, I can do that.
You know what? Drew won't, but Achilles will try to get you to do that. But I think keep him humble.
I'll give him a little Stormwind kitty hut.
That's a good idea. Sorry, go ahead, Tiffany.
Oh, that's okay, no problem. So, I figured I'd tell this story because Jarod's mom and Jarod wanted me to tell it the last time that there was a guild dinner that was held up at the Ethiopian restaurant in, I think that's Santa Ana there. And I kind of play occasionally, and then I'll go for a few months without playing, but Jarod was always making me feel welcome and said, hey, come to the dinner. I want you to meet some of your fellow guildies and things. But I met his mom at a book club many, many years ago. And for about the first year that I knew her, I'd been to her house and everything, and I didn't even know she had a son. At that time, Jarod was living in LA with his dad. And so the first time that I was over at her house and Jarod was actually down visiting, I asked her, I said, who's that? And she's like, oh, that's my son. And I'm like, I didn't know you had a son. And she goes, oh yeah, he's my pride and joy and everything. And I guess Jarod overheard, and he pulled me aside at one point. And he goes, I don't want to let her fool you. I'm just an actor that she hired to pretend to be her son for the weekend because, there's this event that we're going to, and she didn't want to go alone or whatever. And for a few weeks, I wasn't sure if he was serious or not because, she had never mentioned a son before. And so that was kind of a running gag with us for a long time. And over the course of knowing him and getting to know him better and knowing his mom or whatever, I discovered that, that couldn't be further from the truth. He loved his mom. And when he actually eventually moved down from LA and was closer to his mom, I mean, he was always running errands for her and everything. And yeah, he always made me feel welcome and took care of everybody around him. And I think that was, what made him such a treasure. All the stories that we're hearing today and everything. So I just thought I'd share that because I didn't really realize that he was pulling my leg or know the type of personality that he had when I first met him. And I kind of learned his mischievous side through that. Thank you.
Really, he was just hired. Kidding.
Well,
and I have, before we start, I have 2 people that asked me to read for them when we're done. So, no, come get your butt back up here. What do you think you're doing? Go.
I was going to read them, but if you want to, that's fine.
Oh, I was.
no, these are on my phone.
Oh, okay.
People are texting me on my phone, so you read what you got to read.
I was just going to say that you could never hire anybody to replace Jarod. There's nobody like him in the world.
Oh, yeah, don't I know it?
The first one's from Samurai Rocker. I don't remember the first time Jarod Nandin and I met, but I remember the second time. It was at Anime Expo 2003, and I just remember him being so inviting in his presence, like we had known each other for years. However, I was totally put off by it because I was like, I don't know you. However, that quickly changed. Jarod was such a kind and giving person, his personality was infectious. He was one of my first friends when I moved out to LA. I remember driving from LA to Redondo Beach, to Rancho Cucamonga, to Anaheim just to hang out. He was always my first pickup and the best company on those long rides. Talking about our favorite things, rocking out to Tenacious D. He was the type of person who would literally give your shirt off his back. I have the proof. Once he gave me this blue hoodie because it was randomly cold. You know, LA. I still have the thing, and there was multiple times where I was thinking of donating it because I didn't need it. But every time I can't bring myself to part with that old hoodie because it was a gift from my friend Jarod. Jarod, thank you for so many things. The good times, the getting me in trouble, sharing your love for Giant Robo, introducing me to Tenacious D and Battle Royale. I was trying to find a picture of us together, but I can't find any. But that's okay, because I have so many great memories of times that we spent together. I love you, my friend, and I'm going to miss you so much. Rest easy.
Thank you so much.
Duchess, also known as Derpy, who's in Vigilance, is currently here with us right now. I had to mute my mic. I couldn't bring myself to speak. Jarod was also friends with my mother. He was the type that would stop, talk, and be so happy to see her even if I wasn't present. When I called my mother to tell her the news, she literally yelled over and over as we cried. I yelled out as well too. She told me how she yelled out in heartbreak when her best friend died. We shared our pain together. He was the first person I told I may be moving back to Los Angeles. He was so excited. I told him first. He told me he wanted to be the first person to announce it on social media if I did. The sweetest man that treasured the pics that we took the first time we met at my first anime expo. It was so cute. When he told me to take my cosplay sword and pretend to stab him in the heart, he loved it so much. I'm going to paint that pic and treasure it forever.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I had the pleasure of meeting Jarod. I don't know, it might have been 2002 or 2003. It's hard to say because the fact of the matter is, forever, Jarod was a staple of the Southern California cosplay community. He was everywhere, and everyone saw him, and he was such a warm and infectious personality. I think for a long time he was just, he's just there all the time, that guy who's super friendly and is way into Battle Royale and wears the pimp hat. And I think the time when I really got to know what a wonderful person he was when I was 19 and I was going through some really rough time and depression. And I remember I'm mentioning it probably to him at some point. And I went to soccer at con, and he was there, and he was like, hey, gave me a big hug and said, I know you're having a hard time. This will help you feel better. And he gave me bubble bath, which is just such a him thing, to just go out of his way and buy something and do something extra. And I think that's when I really realized I always knew, but that really helped solidify what a wonderful person he was. And we weren't always very close over the years, just because I moved across country and he moved around a lot. But we always stayed in touch. And I remember recently we'd been talking about how excited he was to move to Vegas and how excited I was, because that's my second home. And I mean, even when you weren't in touch, he was always there. I tweeted out, because we were talking more on Twitter, and I tweeted out how I was having a rough day, and he messaged me and told me how he couldn't wait to see me again and give me a big hug. And he was just so sweet. And I was so excited, and I was like, yes, I can't wait to see you again. You're one of the best people. When this is all over, we're gonna go. I'm gonna take you to a hockey game because you live in Las Vegas now. And I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm so sad. And
It's okay.
And I think the thing that kills me the most about all of this is the thing about him is he was always such a presence, and he was always there. And that's what makes me the most upset, is because that's not there anymore. I always knew that whenever I went to an event, if I ever went to a convention in California, especially, it was harder as years went on, but I always knew, like, if he can be there, Jarod will be there. And he'll invite you out to go to dinner, and he'll party in your room, and he'll make stupid jokes and send you a million memes, and it was always there. And the hardest part is that he's not anymore. And it makes me so sad. But I have some faith because of what an inspiration and the community that he created for everybody. And I really hope that the kids can be just a fraction of the person he was. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Olivia got disconnected, but she wanted me to read her message. Is that okay? That's great. Thank you. Okay, I'll come on. All right, Jarod, this is from Olivia. She wanted to say, I wanted to say that Jarod somehow always knew when something wasn't right. When I was having a falling out with friends, not many knew about it. Somehow he felt or he knew. And when I was at BlizzCon feeling super out of place and pretending to be smiling, he called me over and he hugged me and whispered in my ear, hey, you okay? You know, I'm always here for you. Anytime you feel weird, I'm here. That is such a Jarod thing to do. He was the only person that noticed and cared and reached out to me. He was wearing that diva costume with a glitter beard. He would always hug me and check up on me throughout the day, and it meant so much to me that he somehow always knew when you needed him the most, and he would be there. It meant a lot to me, and he was always positive, laughing and memeing it up. He was a good friend to many and will leave a lasting impact on my heart and all that he has touched with his legacy. She said, please, Blizzard, put him in the game or I'm gonna riot. And she put a laughing face. And she said, for Jarod's mom, thank you for raising such a loving and kind person that obviously took care of so many of us. Thank you.
Thank you for being his friend.
Hi. So, I kind of went back and forth on whether or not I should be up here. Because I've known Jarod for, probably around since 2013. But we weren't incredibly close. But I wanted to talk about this because I just kind of want to contribute to this huge list of incredible stories. So after I managed to get out of this abusive relationship, he reached out to me, and he saw that I was hurting, and he was just so brilliant at getting people to open up. And one time he said to me, and this is a quote, he said, "There are never words. All I can do is support you." But no, I support you with all of my heart. And there are times when you talk to people and they don't necessarily know exactly what to say, but Jarod always knew exactly what the right words were. And he was there for me from when I spoke out, and he was always there from the moment that I met him until the night before he died. So he called me that night, and I imagine he called many of you as well. And I just think it's incredible that with the minimal amount of energy he had left, he gave it to his friends and his family, and he just gave everything of himself. He was the most sweet, loving human, and he made everyone feel like the most important person in the room, and the world suffered an incredible loss, but we're all richer for having known him. And after hearing all these stories, it just feels like his purpose here was to just be a guardian angel for everybody, because he always could tell, and he was always there. And this is just really devastating. And I'm just grateful to be here with you guys to talk about this and celebrate his existence.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you spoke.
So I also struggle with whether or not I was gonna say anything, or what it would be, because I've kind of, did the thing. I met him around 2013. I'd been in a Facebook group with him before that, but we got to meet first officially at BlizzCon, and then we were very close from there on out, and he looked after me while I was in an abusive relationship, and then when I was escaping and throughout my divorce. There were times when I didn't have money to put in my gas tank, and when people talk about he was the kind of guy that would give you the shirt off his back, there were literally times we had it synced up to where he was gonna have an extra $10, but for an extra couple of days only, and then 2 days later I would be getting paid and I could give him the $10 back. And sometimes it was just that simple. We would pass $10 or $20 back and forth just so that we could get through the week. But one of my favorite things about him was that he called my boys his nephews, and that they thought of him as an uncle. They never got to meet him, but I always showed them pictures and told them stories about how they had somebody who was always going to be on their side, because I don't really have much of a family. I have my sister and my husband and my 2 boys, and that's it. And Jarod was like a brother, and I had always wanted a brother, and he was the best, most crass, meme-tastic brother, caring brother I could have ever asked for. And I was having a really hard time that I didn't get to say goodbye to him because I had taken a break from Facebook at the time. I was very upset with the way people were acting. And but the last thing I had done was a raid with him in November, and he just invited me. I can't remember the last time I raided with him. I'm on an RP server, but they needed an extra war body to be able to down the boss, and he invited me, and we just ended up being one of my top 5 favorite WoW memories of all time. Even before he passed, I told him that day this was the best day. There were some French friends of his in there, or French Canadian, and we made fun of my friend who couldn't speak French, and it drove him nuts, and it was just the best thing. And even though I couldn't say goodbye to him like other people got the chance to, I was just happy that the last thing we got to do together was fun and that we were smiling, and I'm glad that I'll have that. And I'm just, if my boys could be half as loved as him one day, it would be such a high honor. Just thank you all.
Thank you.
Murphy had written in Discord, I had so many fond and loving memories of Jarod, I don't even know where to begin. But I think the best ones I had were helping him move from Washington to Vegas and how much the trip was, even though all the setbacks, it was still great. I think the best memory that I have of him is when he almost killed me during the staff dinner at Anime LA. All the logistics staffs were sitting at the table together. All day, Jarod had been trying to get a genuine laugh out of me when I least expected it, but I had been on guard all day. So what does Jarod do? He waits until I'm at my most vulnerable, strikes me with the quickness of the troll and meme lord that he is. With him sitting right across from me at the table, he waits until I start eating to look me directly in the eyes and say, "Yo dog, let me suck that D." With the straight face he could make.
That's so great.
And that he had got me, and I was laughing so loud and hard that I knocked the wind out of myself because I couldn't breathe from laughing so hard. And to this day, we would still joke about it amongst our friends from con, and it's still funny to this day.
Yep, that's my boy. Anybody else, or shall I read the... No, you come on up. Anybody, come on up. I'll wait.
Hi there. I'd like to say a couple things about the Jarod I knew. Met him about around the year 2000, 2003. But I want to say I experienced Jarod before I met Jarod. Walking around Anime Expo, him in his giant robo costume, you could tell this guy was a big member of the community because there was always like an entourage. And there was always people that were glad to be around him. You meet him for 5 minutes and he's already hugging you. It wasn't long that I knew Jarod that he invited me to be a member on his infinitely excellent message board. Got to meet more people. One of my strangest memories of Jarod was he invited me and another friend of his over, and we were just talking anime for almost I think 2 o'clock in the morning, showing me his collection while his girlfriend was on the bed in less clothes than she should have been for a 15-year-old to be around. And it was a great time, and I looked forward to seeing him every single time I went to a convention. He really exemplified the one thing I love about anime fandom, any sort of fandom, or anything at all, and that word is community. Jarod was a community man, and he was always at the center of whatever community he was a part of. And I'm glad he brought me into his fold all those years ago. I'll miss him a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brooke.
Hi everyone. You have to excuse me. I've been crying so much that my head hurts.
It's okay, hon.
One second. I met Jarod at AWA so many years ago. I can't even remember, but he was such a kind soul. And I was in a panic because I was trying to finish my costume because, you know, cosplayers gotta finish their costume at the convention. And I didn't have a paintbrush. And Jarod, he just, here, take mine. And I'm like, are you sure you don't need these? He gave a total stranger his paintbrushes so I could go back to my room and finish my costume. And I couldn't find him again before the end of the convention, and so I wasn't able to give them back to him. But we kept in touch on the internet but somehow with him all moving and I got disconnected, we lost touch. We reconnected several years later, and we've been talking ever since. Now, my dad has dementia, and he's quite abusive, and Jarod has gotten me through it. He's talked to me and got me through everything. He's always been so supportive. He's also helped me with body shaming, and he invited me to cosplayers of the human cosplay faith, for body positivity. Because I mean, I've been attacked pretty bad because of my body shape, and he's just always been so uplifting. And it hurts when he's gone. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So years later, I caught up with him again, and I'm like, "Hey, Jarod, I brought your brushes back. I had them 10 years, but I brought them back." And he laughed at that. And the year that he debuted his costume, he's like, "Hey, you gotta come see this. You gotta come see this. Meet me down in the hallway." So I go down to the hallway, and I look at him, and I just stop, and my jaw drops to the floor because Jarod broke me. I'm like, "Your hair. What did you do to your hair?" And I just kept repeating it over and over again. And he just laughed so hard. It was hysterical for him because he just broke my mind. And every time we talk about that moment, he just absolutely loved it. And it kills me as Jared was the kind of person. When I called to leave him my last messages, I was crying just like I am now. I couldn't control it. And he apologized. He apologized to me while he was dying because he made me cry. He's that kind of person. I still feel guilty for that.
No, no guilt, please. He wouldn't want that. And you don't need that, honey.
I know. I miss him.
I know. Don't feel guilty, please.
I'm trying not to. I know he wouldn't want me to. It's just really hard to last things, because I'm like, "You're saying, is there anybody, is there an update?" And then there was silence. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself.
Does somebody want to read what's in Discord?
I got it. Alpina Lauren wrote in Discord. Bill once had a bit where he said we have a simple choice, fear or love. There's really no better way of explaining the dichotomy Jared and I embodied. I have really bad social anxiety and debilitating and non-suicidal depression. I have always let fear run my life. I ended up missing a lot of chances because of it. Chances to cosplay, chances to make new friends, even chances to see Jared. In 2014, I happened to be nearby for a J-pop concert when Jared was at the last day of BlizzCon, but I declined to come by and say hello. It was because I was tired, but it was because I was nervous. At anime conventions we both attended in early 2000s, he invited me to everything. But out of the fear that he didn't really want me there and he was just inviting me out of courtesy, I only said yes once to his Battle Royale viewing parties. Always try to make me feel included, but because of my fear, there are no pictures of us together. There are no videos of us together. I was too shy to do voice messages on Facebook, so I didn't have any recordings of his voice to listen to. And for the last 6 months of his life, I was barely on Facebook at all because I was afraid of some abusive people who were still on my friends list, and it hurt to see their names and faces. So I had run away from Facebook, and I wasn't there to see his last few updates, and I wasn't on Messenger for him to see. But Jared did everything out of love, and because of that, in the years since we reconnected, I was never deprived of his friendship and his love and his presence and his humor. He randomly sent me messages to make me laugh, some, sometimes wave after wave of them. He checked up on me. If I went months without being able to socialize, he'd take the initiative, especially during the summer when he knew my backwards ass seasonal depression was at its worst. And whenever it had been a while, it was like no time had passed. I reconnected with him. He got famous for his cosplay after a good 5 years, after at, at least without talking to each other. I was beyond worried. I'd look like a total starfucker for reaching out, but even though been such I'd been such a terrified non-presence for at the first few cons we both attended, he remembered me and welcomed me back into his life with open arms. I'd gone through really rough few years, and Jared had got me into vintage anime groups and got me playing WoW again. And one old friend of mine said, like the old Lauren is back. I'd pushed every, I pushed aside everything that had me, for the convenience of other people for years, and he snapped me right out of that. He may well have saved my life because he pulled me out of a coma. He made me feel like I was valuable and that my passions and interests were valid. I've always had insecurities about my physical appearance, but he made me feel beautiful. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be married. I wouldn't be taking in in an event like this. I wouldn't be asserting myself at work. I wouldn't be excited about buying new clothes. And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have finally started going to therapy a few years ago if it had not been the way he treated me. He taught me that I deserved love and respect, which is something I genuinely never fully believed. I had so many regrets about not taking initiative to send him messages more often. I can't help but worry that he may never know how much he really meant to me. He was the type to always be there no matter what, no matter how long it took me to say hi to him. And now he won't be. I took him for granted, and Jared, I'm sorry. I love you so much, and wherever you are, I hope you know that.
Thanks for reading that.
Thank you very much for that. And I want to offer my best friend is a tech, and she wants to help you with your Facebook settings so that you don't have to deal with those people that you're afraid of. I want you to know that if Jared invited you somewhere, he wasn't pity. He genuinely wanted you there, and I'm gonna punch anybody who thinks you're a star fucker because that's not true. So please, 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 reach out to me or Tiffany Wild in the group, and we'll get that Facebook issue cleared up for you because you shouldn't be afraid to be anywhere, and we'll make sure that happens. And I'm sure he loved you no matter what. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
And I'd like to read in order that I received them some things from people who can't do it. And oh shoot. Am I missing out? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yep,
you.
we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Melissa just took my button away from me, so I was wondering.
Well, you have both hands sign the messages.
Okay, this is from Matt Brooks, a really good friend of Jared's. And well, everybody's a really good friend of Jared's. There's no doubt about that. But Matt writes, he didn't think anybody would remember his tune, so that's why we're giving his name. I just thought about it when Jared stayed with my family. My wife slept with the children, and Jared and I shared my king-size bed, and we set up a desk and everything so he could get his WoW on. And I thought there was more there, Matt. Text me if there's more, because it looked like it was a little bit longer. Oh, yeah. Hold on. There's more. Read them out of order. I met Jared randomly on the Oldham server while dancing on the fountain outside the bank in Stormwind. That was late of February 2008. Since that time, we grieved together and laughed even more. I am a double amputee, and he was driving force. He was a drive. Just a minute. release off to your. And he was a driving force in my recovery. Anytime I needed someone when I thought I was not going to walk again, because that pain was overwhelming, he let me lean on him so I could walk again. I love him as my brother. My children call him uncle, and we were blessed to share the time we were allowed to. Thank you. And thank you, Matt, Airdoll. And then I have another one. Sorry, a second. Can't find it. Can you hear me, Craig? I thought you
Can hear
asked me
you.
to read. Oh, I mean Craig, if he's on here. I thought you sent me something you wanted me to read, and I can't find it. So if you'd resend, and then from Chris Canizales, Azurius, his brother from another mother. He wanted everyone to know he met Jarod through cosplay.com back in 2002, and they just instant clicked so much that we finally met in person in 04. We didn't miss a beat. We embarrassed everyone at my girlfriend's birthday celebration at Hard Rock Cafe, singing Prince Ali from Aladdin at the top of our lungs. We'd make the crudest jokes, and it was nothing but laughs and just real talk. He helped me through a lot of situations in my life. He was always so good and caring. He was my ride or die brother from another mother. My heart now has a void so large from his passing. He was the only friend I ever wanted. Someone took him away from me, and 7 kingdoms couldn't fill the hole he has left behind. The last part was Robert Baratheon, reference from Game of Thrones. He wanted to cosplay him, and I was going to be his Renly. I can't even read. His gay Baratheon, haha, his gay younger brother. Jarod used to carry an action figure he said was me in his glove box in his old pimp mobile. He showed it to me once and told me, this way, I could always be his co-pilot. Thank you, Chris, for that. Okay, anybody else want to come up?
Yeah, can I come up?
Absolutely, yes, please. Anybody come up? Don't be hesitant. A couple of people has said I didn't know whether I should talk or not. You are all welcome to talk, and don't feel that what you have to say is unimportant. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, hon.
Oh, no, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to read from what I typed out because it's a lot easier that way. But hey, everyone. My name's Maya. I first met Jarod. The first time I met Jarod would be the last time that I saw him 4 years ago at BlizzCon. I remember buying a ticket to go, but I felt so out of place. Jarod was outside of the convention center in his Gremlin Diva cosplay, chatting with a mutual friend. Without skipping a beat, he pulled me into their conversation and introduced himself with so much warmth. Hours went by, and I was completely entrenched in our conversation. By the end of it, he asked me if we could hug, and it will be a hug I will always cherish. I regret so much not going back to Cali for another convention since 2016. Not taking a selfie with him when I had the chance. He knew exactly when to reach out and check on me, even though I was on the other side of the country. He would always send me kind or funny messages, including a Valentine's Day card from February 2020 that said, "To Maya from Jarod, don't leave me hanging," and it was a picture of Jeffrey Epstein.
That's great. That's so him.
I'll take a moment at some point and post our Epstein Valentine's cards because I think a lot of us got them and they're freaking amazing.
Okay, I was wondering if I should say it or not. I was like, this is so Jared.
He was so happy to send them out. He's like, "You're not gonna believe what I just did." I was like, "No, I believe it."
My
Oh, man, that's so
reaction to that was, "Oh, I'm laughing so hard and I hate myself for it." And he said, "Yeah, other people reacted the same way."
I know, I felt awful because I read it and I was at a convention at the time and then I had to double take in the middle of the con, just laughing my ass off. Like, oh god, I feel terrible. So I hadn't played WoW in well over a year, and when I heard Jared had passed away, I was inspired to play again in his honor. The first time I logged into BNet, it said Jarod Nandin last online 18 days ago, the day he had gone to the ER. Jarod has proven time and time again just how much love he had to give. He extended his circle to his friends, his family, and the family of his friends, and never demanded anything in return. He will always have a special throne in our hearts. And I have one toy that I made this expansion that I just want to put down in his honor. Thank you.
Aw, thank you. Anyone else?
Hello there.
Hello.
Hi. So I just wanted to tell like one of my favorite Jarod stories for everyone, because it kind of just always showed me who he was. So we were hanging out at Anime Expo, back when it was in Anaheim. And, so we were just standing around, and I'd already seen him a couple times that day, but it was the evening. And I was like, Jarod, every time I turn around, every time I see you, there's another friend that I know that I didn't know that you knew. And I'm like, you must know like everyone at this con. And he's like, no, I don't know everyone at the con. And he's like, look at this. And he picks a guy that's just walking past. He's like, hey, do I know you? And the guy's like, well, actually. And he's like, oh no, I mean, I'm so sorry. And the guy's like, oh, just kidding. And everybody had a good laugh about that. And I don't know if they remained friends, but I told this story once before to him back on the Infinitely Excellent forum. And Jared's like, yeah, I really did think there was a chance I could have known him, and I was worried. And I'm like, yeah, we know. That's you. That's just so you. Yeah, and yeah, that's just it. Jarod just brings everyone together from like everywhere, and we can see that right here. So yeah, here's to friends.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Anyone?
I'm walking up there.
Bueller, anyone? No, go ahead.
Oh, hi. I have Jarod and I have a mutual friend here. She's deaf in real life, so she hasn't said anything yet, but she met him at her first BlizzCon. And he was always really helpful to her. He did his pseudo sign language to her enough for her to understand, and he had notes around. I think she's trying to find her notebook that she had from that time, because every BlizzCon we'd go to, she'd always find Jarod and show her art and stuff. And she said she had a hard time finding what to say, but she said she was always liking how he would invite her to Overwatch games and try to get her to play with him and stuff. And she's a Owlie over here on a little level 1 hunter. She's somewhere over there. And I wanted to say something else for me too. I was late on meeting Jarod. I wish I had the more memories like you guys have. I first saw him as the South Park guy, just on online BlizzCon. But then when I did my first cosplay, I was terrified, and I'd never seen a guy dressed up as a female character. Then I walk into the entryway of the BlizzCon, and it's like, okay, there's all these hardcore people here, and then just out of nowhere, someone goes, "That's awesome!" And I look, and it was Jarod sitting there next to the pillar in his desk, and he totally spotted I was not a girl, and we became friends after that. Sadly, I did not get a picture with him in costume. And after that, we would, make our jokes around. We ended up having a bunch of mutual friends, which I live with. One of my last jokes with him was he posted a picture of his warrior in his new transmog, and I saw the coloring of it looked like Mrs. Doubtfire in a blouse and showed it to him, and it made him laugh at me. And then the day when he asked for us to leave voice messages, I didn't know what to say and had laid in bed for an hour trying to figure out what to say, so I kept deleting the message after, I went through probably 20 of them before I finally sent some, and I ended up sending 10 to him, and then he gave me a heart on each one. I wish I went to the Ethiopian restaurant with him, because I remember every BlizzCon I was like, "Hey guys, I'm at this restaurant. It's my favorite Ethiopian place," and I was always on my plane back when I saw the message. My deaf friend just said Carrie as her name. She said he always been supportive in our Facebook chats about my gender identity. Yeah, Jared's been really awesome about that. So she also said he was always, hold on, just be yourself. If I will fall into place, just be yourself. That is what Jared would tell her that when I told him about going to gender counseling. So she would tell him stuff like that. And he was very positive to her, and her being a deaf gamer, it's not that big of a community, but meeting someone like Jarod was really made it a real experience for her at BlizzCon. And she's trying to remember other things that happened during the BlizzCon, but she can't remember right now. Sorry for rambling.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
not rambling. If she thinks of something, and after 3 or 4 more people or whatever talk, she's perfectly welcome to. You can come back up here for her.
All right. And do you know if there's any way if someone's recording this and maybe the automatic caption things or whatever that turn it to chat can make it readable for her?
Guys, does anybody know that?
There are 3 streamers going. I don't know if anybody has a closed caption.
I'm gonna upload to YouTube, and they have an auto caption feature. That might be okay.
All right. That'll be awesome if that could be posted, and I can share that to her, so she can do that. Yeah, I'm just glad that I got to share a bit of, knowing Jarod in his life. I have, I think, 3 pictures with him, and one was second cosplay day where you only put half your costume on, and one was me and my mutton chops, and I did a little "you got a friend in me" post, and he had his spiked backpack that he was excited to have. And the last picture with him, I was was BlizzCon, so I was too drunk to remember to put myself in the selfie with him, so it was just him. But that's my favorite picture because I'm sort of there. I just forgot to include myself. But thank you all for being here and everything.
Thank you. Anyone?
I'm really socially awkward, so I'm sorry. But bear with me. I don't remember exactly when I met Jarod. It was back when he was first starting the Defenders of Cosplay Faith group, and I was just really scared and kind of in a low point in my life where I wanted to give up cosplay, and seamstressing is my passion since I was a child, so it was just something that I felt like I couldn't do without finding happiness in it anymore. And I remember that he reached out and he didn't even know anything that was going on. I felt like he just kind of can tell just by the way you maybe talk or how often you post. But he reached out and he gave me the kindest words to continue and always push through and find strength and just never give up. And I felt like somebody of his status, somebody who has such a kind and golden and big heart, would reach out to me, who I feel like I never really have much to like contribute because I am always scared to reach out and talk, and he just helps kind of like I hear his voice in the back of my head keep saying, just do it, you can push it, and just, speak up, and you'll find a place in this world, and you'll touch people, and I truly hope I can carry on even just a fragment of what he has done for me and provide that for everyone around me, and just bring nothing but good into this world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being brave enough to speak out, and what you had to say is worthy, and you are worthy, and don't forget that, you know. And somebody with his status to speak to somebody like you, you're on the same level. We're all on the same level, hun. Thank you so much. You did great.
Eugene?
Thank you, everyone, for the wonderful stories. I know we laughed, we cried. We'll
I'm
always.
not done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
My bad.
okay. I would like to, yeah, just say some closing words.
Go ahead, Callie.
Listening to everybody's story, it's made it quite clear to me that, we are all together. And I'm embarrassed to say that Jared was able to comfort all of you because he watched me be in some pretty abusive relationships, and he learned how to read people very well, just like me. And the reason he had so much compassion is because he lived it. He knew exactly what you guys were feeling. He watched me, and I find it interesting we're all brought together here because we all have the same wounds. They all line up, and we all created this family, which gives me comfort because, Jared was the only family I had. And when he died, I just feel so alone in the world. But you've all been so kind to me and reached out. And you've all been like little Jareds to me. You're all just got a piece of him and you're sharing it. And thank you. Um, I want to share some good things, and I'll end it on a funny story. Um, I gotta look at my notes here. Um, Jared, the pain he felt watching me is why he wanted you all to be happy, because he knew it. He lived it. He suffered with depression, which so did I, or do I. Um, and he knew that pain and didn't want anybody ever to feel like that. That's how he knew how to reach out. And people have said, I don't know how he knew I felt that way, but Jared kind of transcended. His mind was a computer, and our subconscious mind can process thousands of times more information than our conscious mind. So Jared would pick up on this data and couldn't understand where it came from, but he could translate it into, I need to reach out, that person's hurting. He could feel it. And the thing about it is, for those of you who preface things with, I didn't meet him in person, um, in real life, and I want you to know that, he transcended that distance, that space, and that time. You're no less than a friend. It makes me think Jared was like the original Time Lord. because it didn't matter who you were, where you were, if you were on the other side of the world. He he could transcend that and feel for you and help you. Um, he never wanted you guys to worry in the hospital. This is private. This may be painful if anybody doesn't want to listen to it. I understand. Um, he didn't want you all to worry. And like you all, I thought he was going to kick COVID's ass. It never occurred to me that he wouldn't. And he didn't want the doctors telling me his condition. Even when he'd say, Mom, I don't understand what they're saying. Apparently, he told them not to tell them how grave it was, not to give me his prognosis, so I never knew. His doctor did call me at one point and say, Look, um, he's got to get some rest. He's texting and talking with his friends, and he's got to rest. He's got to rest, and it's okay if you talk to him for like 10 minutes, but let him rest. And so I had to talk to him and tell him, honey, you have to stop texting and calling people. You really need to rest. And he's like, but Mom, I don't want them to hurt. I don't want them to be scared. I've got to tell them it's okay. And the day he passed, he called me in the early hours of the morning and woke me up. And he said, Hi, Mom. I'm really scared. And I said, Why are you scared? He said, I don't know, but I'm really scared. And I'm like, Okay, honey, what can I do? And he said, Could you just sing to me or hum to me? And I said, Okay. And in my groggy state, the only thing I could think of was Amazing Grace. Um, so I hummed that to him, and he said, That was beautiful, Mom. I love you. I'm gonna go now. I said, You're gonna go. And then we hung up. And I think Jared was telling me he was going to go. And I think that time and space transcendence that I talked about, my subconscious mind knew that because Amazing Grace is what we play at all family funerals. We have a lone piper. We're Scottish on my side. And that's what we play at someone's funeral. And I just want you guys to know he loved you so much. He had the capacity, and he had the capacity. I could see whoever he was talking to, he made you feel like you were the most important person in the world, and that's only because you were. It's not a competition. You are all wonderful. And he knew that, and I'm not going to argue with his judgment because after all the wonderful things we've heard here, we can't do that because obviously he was right. Two things. I want to continue Jared's body positivity work. We both struggled with our weight. I got to 250 at one point, and it's been a battle ever since. And I understand because I went through that as a teenager and how people shame you and do terrible things to you because of it. And I want to end that. And that was his crusade. A couple of friends of his and mine are going to stream and hopefully be able to offer you prizes and gifts um, and give back to you guys. But I really want to continue that. I hope you will support that in Jared's name. And we can keep you updated on that. Anybody who wants to friend me, friend me. Friend me in game, whatever. One thing that I would like to ask for me is that it would mean so much to me Oh God, look at all the friend requests. You guys are awesome. It would mean so much to me if we could get Kaz in game. That would, he would just be so freaking happy and proud to have that. I know he's sending me signs, and I know if you guys look for whatever reminds you of him, he'll send you signs too, because he cared about all of you. I had him for 40 years. It wasn't enough. I never expected to outlive him. And the only good thing about that I can say is that we all saw how the death of his father devastated him. And I always was worried that he'd have to watch that mine. And my comfort is he doesn't have to go through that pain. I can tell you right now, I know that he is happy where he is. He's with his dad and his grandma, and he's not in pain anymore, and he's not weighed down by his body, which was, causing him trouble walking and breathing. And now he's shed of that, and he's just pure love and energy without the physical. He has not left you. He's with you. He's with all of us. I know anybody who thinks this is woo-woo, that's fine. I can just tell you that I know that I know that I know, and my subconscious has processed that information. And I love you guys, and I thank you all for being here. I thank you for thank Yuki for organizing it. And one last thing I want to say is being in an abusive relationship caused me to go looking for a solve for that. And I honestly did find it. I was the kind of person who bought self-help books all the time. And I stopped because I really truly found the answer. Somebody who explained to me more in 2 years about what I was going through than 20 years of therapy ever could. I'll type her name into the chat. She has free groups. I would suggest you guys, anybody who loved Jarod, if he could tell you I am not the same person I was 2 or 3 years ago. I am totally changed for the better. Her name is Lisa A. Romano on Facebook. I am a member there. I would urge all of you to join. She has the tools. You get homework, and she will explain to you why we do and fall in love with these type of people. That's all I can say. If you've got ears, you can hear that, and if you're not ready, that's fine too. But I would hope you would reach out because Jarod could absolutely testify that this lady helped me so much. So, all my love, you guys, and thank you.
We
And I
love you
bow to
too.
each and every one of you. Thank you, sweetie. I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we love you too.
Thank you, Kelly.
It means so much to me. It really does.
And thank you, Callie, for everything. And thank you for
Bro.
being the mom that thought the two characters in Garrison were a gay couple, because that was my first impression of you.
And I wanted to say I agree on that.
That was like, Jarod has the coolest mom, and that's amazing. And also, thank you for taking the pets. I don't know if they're here, the cats, because it's, I mean, it's a whole nother pain for me. I have cats, and I just can't imagine what they wonder what's going on. So I'm glad that they have a home, because they don't know if they comprehend what we do. So thank you so much for that. I want to take them, but I have 3 already, and I don't think I could take 2 more.
Ironically,
I
I
have
just lost my cats.
I have 4 cats, or I would have taken them too. But I did get to meet them when he was living in Bakersfield, and they're so sweet.
Very good cats. I lost mine when Callie still couldn't find them, so I talked to Justin. He said, "Oh, we're taking them. There's no way."
How are they adjusting? I mean, are they okay? I mean, I'm sure they're still.
They're great. I'll post pictures of them. Drew is a giant scaredy cat. Lives up to his name.
Take my.
He likes to sleep under the bed and hide, but he'll be okay. Achilles is Achilles. He loves everybody.
Yeah, I know they'll be okay. And Drew will be fine. He just needs some love. And I wanted to let you know they just had their shots on the December 8th, and the doc vet said that they're in really good health and they're doing great. So you got that information, Tree.
Yeah. I'll keep them updated with all that. If they show any signs of weirdness or whatever, I'll take them in, make sure that they're taken care of.
I know you will, hon. I was just letting you know they are in good shape, so you don't have to worry about that, hopefully. Oh, look at the pretty lights. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let us celebrate. I know if you haven't shot off fireworks yet, please do for in celebration of. Thank you everyone for attending, hearing your wonderful stories. Thank you, Callie. You
Thank
are the
you.
best mama bear for everyone that is here. Thank
Oh,
you.
If anybody needs anyone to talk to, you're more than welcome to add me on here in BattleNet. I can post my tag if you want. We're gonna try and keep his love, his counseling, his overall passion alive. And I know what it's like when you're too scared to talk to someone. But I mean, even if you need someone to send you pictures or something funny or his amazing memes, we can do that. I can do that. So just let me know.
I'm
Throw
gonna
me a
make one of my first memes for the Stank Memes group, so keep your eyes open, guys. I hope I can entertain you and give you a little piece of Jarod that way.
Hey, Kelly. I don't know if it's happened yet, but I don't know if you've memorialized his page, but if anyone is not his friend on Facebook yet, they need to do it before it gets memorialized if you decide to do that. Otherwise, they won't be able to.
Yeah, I've got to do that. You're right. It's just been like you can ask Tree. It's been a shit show of a week,
Oh
hasn't
yeah,
it?
no, I've had to do that for people I've lost in the past, and it's unfortunately when I had to change my Facebook, I lost them forever, and it's really sucks because
Oh, I'm
can't
so
get it back.
sorry.
So just if you're not on his Facebook, and you need to get on there because otherwise you won't be able to.
It's already memorialized.
Oh,
It is, but I'd like to let people be able to still post on there if they want.
I
did
believe
someone
you can
post on
still
his
add
fan
friend
page too?
requests. I think.
Say that again.
I do believe you can still add friend requests. I remember when another friend of mine passed away a few years ago, their parents wanted to be on their Facebook page, and the person who uh, was given the access to their
Yes,
page was able
that's
to
correct.
do it.
Oh, that's good. That actually gives me hope for my past
Callie,
friend.
you should have control of his account as if he left you to do that. So, and if you have any problems, this is Jason. If you go ahead and reach out to me, I know as an ex-Facebooker, I can help in ways that maybe most people can't. So,
I love those wings. Whoever put those on me, thank you. The legendary cloak that were wings, I never got, and I always regretted it, but that was really nice. A nice set of wings. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, my dogs are howling.
If anybody knows of a good piece of art or screenshot of Tetsugu that would make a good tattoo, feel free to send that over to me because once it's safe to, I want to get a tattoo of Tetsugu on my arm to commemorate him, and I don't know what art to use, so any suggestions would be great.
I know there was I think it was it Jen or who was it in the Dank Mean group that did a piece of artwork of Jarod as the cat, or was it? I don't know. What am I thinking?
Oh, the
Oh my gosh.
captain from
Yeah.
I'm drawing the fattest blank and I don't know why.
Yamato?
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yamato, sorry.
Battleship, yes. Yamamoto.
Yeah, I'll have to find that too.
If you click on the name of our messenger, you can click on photos and scroll through them faster.
My friend, our friend Carrie, she does art too. I don't know if there's something that you want specific done. She might be able to do a commission for, or not a commission. That's the wrong word. That's for money, but do something for Jarod. She's Carrie Narvison in Facebook, and she's the little level 1 warrior called Owlie. She's, I don't know where she is now. There's too many boomkins, but she might be some help with that.
Oh, no, I hadn't even thought about like getting actual proper art, like having somebody draw that. Now I kind of want to draw. I want to have art of, because when we met, he was cosplaying as Tetsugu, and I was in an original cosplay Gynex girl who was kind of an amalgamation of Gynex female lead characters all into one costume. And I would love to maybe get art of like me hugging him or glomping him or something like that and saying, "Hi, Aniki." And that would be an adorable tattoo. So I kind of want to see if I can.
The one who said, "I'm not Boomkin, sad face," whisper her, add her if you want to talk about art stuff. Look my name. That's Carrie. So if you're in game and you could see chat, she's the one that you'd want to talk about art to.
Yes.
I think she'd be more than happy to do it. She does the little unique little character things of like BlizzCon badges and stuff. And Jarod was one of the highlights of her BlizzCon each year because he was so great to her.
You guys, this is just so wonderful. Thank you. Anybody who wants to do some artwork of Jarod, I will gladly commission you if I can. Thank you. And don't everybody run out and do it, okay? Just don't feel compulsion. Just if you feel led. Thank you for all the sparkles.
I put the disco ball down because I don't have it.
Thank you, Callie.
No, thank you guys. I mean, the hole in my chest and my life and realizing, I never thought of myself as identifying as, I'm somebody's mom. I just always thought I was me. And then he died and I thought, I'm nobody's mom now. And
oh, sweetie.
I being Jared's mom was more a part of my identity than I knew, not because he was famous, because I knew he was, minorly, but he was so humble and it just overwhelming, the outpouring. And God, I'm sorry. I have grief brain.
You don't have to be sorry.
I start a sentence and then I just lose everything.
We're all basically your children, so to speak, just from this family of Jarod who brought us all here.
This is so special. It really is.
You all are family, actually.
TMZ covered it. He would have absolutely loved that,
Oh my God, the Daily Mail in London and in France, and he would have been. I think he would have been surprised.
And I saw it under Yahoo News under celebrities. He would have had a shit.
PC gamer.
He would have been.
PC gamer. Yep.
I'd like to give credit to him, just like because I watched a lot of sci-fi. I'm not religious, but when you say you ascend to become a higher being, you have some more powers, like in the Stargate show.
Oh my God, that's my favorite.
I just rewatched it. So Jarod ascended, and he used his powers for good to help the state of the country with the elections and stuff. So I know that he had a part to play to try to fix things here.
I'm wearing a Stargate actually as a necklace, but I know Jared's up there cleaning out that diner.
Oh yeah, he's up there with him. With
he is. Yeah, he's up there cleaning out the diner from all those.
And I just remembered his made Bernie Sanders laugh. Walmart sucks.
Right?
Oh no! I mean, chuckle. I mean, no. The people are fine. It's the company that are bad.
That was funny.
I have a request. Sorry, I've got to go for my kids, but I have a request. If any of you have anything that pops up in your Facebook memories from him, or just anything that you think of, stories, whatever, can you please post on the Facebook page? It helps so much. It makes me feel like he's still here, that I can get to know him through you guys and his stories. I'm collecting some of the memes that I remember going through my Facebook, which is tedious, and finding those, and I kind of want to put them together in like a series of just like books or calendars or something, so that I can just flip through at any point in time and he's right there in his meme lord status.
Absolutely. I will post tons of photos for you.
Yes, thank you. That would be great. It's so
And
nice.
if you're collecting that, that might be good for the CNN story that I want to put together to submit as well.
I will make sure that I'll post on his page so that you know who I am. You may need to attack me and track me down, since I'm managing minions over here all the time and usually extremely sleep deprived. So my brain is not so great, but yes, if you guys could do that, that would be fantastic.
Thank you, everybody. I want you to know that this experience has been really humbling, losing him, because I've never asked for help before. I've always did everything on my own, and this is really, being here and talking to you, you may not be able to tell, but is really vulnerable to me, and just getting it all out instead of keeping it in my head. I'm sure you guys know about that. But I thank you.
You're an absolute boss, Callie. You are wonderful. You are so strong, and I really wish I could give you a hug.
So strong. I got you fooled, girl. Thank you.
No, you know what?
I'd take that hug.
I am one of you. I fool people into thinking I'm actually strong all the time, so I'm right there with you. High fives.
Has Callie, have you? I don't know if Blizzard reach out to people when people pass or not, but has Blizzard said anything for like permission for a thing in game, or has anyone heard anything about that? Because the petition thing or changed org thing, I don't know what the status that is. I tried and it just
It
didn't
kind
really
of
go
died,
far.
yeah. No,
I'll
nobody's
reach
reached
to
out.
my
I would.
I'll reach out to my coworker, Callie. If you want to contact me on Facebook, I'll pass your number to the WoW team. So let me know.
Oh, okay. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm sorry.
Jason Lee.
Oh, hi. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for getting John Delancey to do that. It meant so much to him, I know.
Yeah, I know. He told me, and I just wish it was more of a positive outcome from that, though. But he
That was a gift
he
to
didn't want
him.
to make me to be sad or anything. So yeah, I'll contact you through Facebook and I'll add you, and then I'll pass it along to my coworker who is still working at Blizzard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. And that was a real gift, that video. And it was a real gift because Jared and I were estranged from my side of the family. They're just not good people. And it's nice because now they know, they've seen everything. They're not happy about it, but they've seen how loved he was, no matter that they snubbed us. So, thank you.
I wanted to add that when we talked about Dune a lot, I threw up a post in the Dune shit posting, and I got hundreds of people chipping in. But because we talked about the miniseries a lot, and one bit was his water belongs to the tribe. So Jarod belongs to all of us now.
You're so right.
Oh, I love that so much. Yes, all of that.
That's what I put in for the change org thing, but it's kind of a lot to ask for Blizzard to do. I mean, it is for employees who passed. I mean, notable, maybe famous people like, say, Robin Williams, who wasn't a bad person. You know, people who made an influence, or people that we knew that were very impactful in the game. I mean, Jarod could have a spot where, you know, you have a guy sitting at a desk, shaved, balded head on top with the same outfit, just playing on his computer.
I was kind of hoping they would reference some of his giant robo-lub or something in there.
Well, it's with the Shadowlands, it's the entire universe, so it would make sense. But I mean, it's infinite afterlives. It would work for the full thing, was my logic. And that way, I mean, because life happens, life ends. We never know. I mean, I could be gone tomorrow, and anything's random. I'm not going to be gone tomorrow. I don't plan on it. But
You're
just saying,
ordered
like,
not to.
my cat. I have 3 cats. They will not let me go, and I won't go without them.
Oh,
so
good.
it's not going to happen. I like anyone who's influenced and loved and stuff. If you know, they could be put there, especially if they were, you know, notable and like a good person. You know, just like, hey, you know, that guy that was a rogue. He had mental health issues that took his own life. I mean, he's somewhere in Stormwind now, but Shadowlands is the perfect opportunity because it is the realm of death. So champions who have passed, like Jarod, he's a champion. He would be there. You don't have to do any work in the Shadowlands. This is your like heaven. Like, you don't have to do crap. You could just retire and be here and play your game and beat the kids up in South Park or whatever his character would be doing. And they could even, and the costume vendor, I think I mentioned that, like, he could even use someone that sells like little cosplay items, like pieces that are not available in game, but people have made for cosplay from characters.
Sorry, you know what? I have push to talk on my mouse for game chat, so Melissa's sitting here telling me, you have to press the Z, you have to press the Z. I can't use my mouse key. So I'm talking to you all and, you know, nobody's answering. And then I realize that. And then I'm like, what was I saying? I forget.
I keep seeing you taking your bow off and putting it back on repeatedly.
That's my Z, yeah.
I
hooked it to Z. I should change that, yes. Is Proxy Zero here? Is he standing? Did anybody here see him?
Yes, just here. Hang
Oh.
on.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to see. Thank you. I got to get him up here. I want him.
Yeah, that's the shield. Oh, Carrie can't hear me. Never mind. I mean, even with the whole my Shadowlands ID, you could even have like characters from other Blizzard games, like even Jarod as his, I think, Diva character from Overwatch. I don't know Overwatch very well. Oh, I forgot one of my big moments with Jarod when we were newer friends. On his Facebook, he mentioned something about Johnny Cruz, and one of his female friends and I had an argument over who Johnny Cruz would like more. And it went on for about an hour, and Jarod was like, this is the best thing that's happened on Facebook, because she and I were fighting over a voice actor from Overwatch.
Speaking about Johnny, I have to find the screenshots of him calling himself a tight ass with that video that Johnny did for his friends.
Not familiar with that video.
Because one of them was me, and it was a birthday present, and he literally said to me, I'm too much of a tight ass to buy you a present, so I got you a shout out by this voice actor.
Oh, that works. That's
He
funny.
had no idea how much of an amazing gift that was.
That's great.
I remember when after that argument, that BlizzCon that happened, I kind of get really intoxicated at BlizzCon because I don't really drink. I was so drunk, but I got to kiss Johnny Cruz on the cheek in a picture. I kind of snuck it there. Showed that to Jarod, and he was like, "Holy shit!" And I was like, "Yep, I think I just beat your friend on who wins Johnny Cruz."
Jarod made me show Johnny Cruz a photo of him with Johnny Cruz, and actually made me say, "Look at this photograph."
Oh my god.
That's funny.
Oh my god, I want to tell you
So
something,
him.
guys. I just got a text from Matt Brooks, and he said speaking of Stargate, he's good friends with Alexis Cruz. He played Skara in the movie and the TV, and
Oh
he
my God,
sends his
Skara, really? Because I had the biggest crush on him in forever.
you and me both. But he
No, I
sends
called
his
it.
love. He sends his love, and you are in his thoughts.
Oh, he knows Skara. That's
Oh
amazing.
my God, that was
I
so
can't. I
sweet.
wonder what happened to that actor. I love his character.
Oh, Google him. You can still see.
I
He
was
cut
trying to
all.
find him on social media to stalk him and see what he looks like now.
His hair is kind of super short, but you can still see, him. You just need to put the hair on him.
Was someone after people to do dancing?
Yeah, it was just I
I'll do
wanted
it.
if people want like I'm just chilling. Wait, like I just need like 6 people to get together or something. You know what I mean?
Me,
Like the
me, me,
coffin
me, me,
dance.
me, me,
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
me.
I will do
Well,
it.
I'll do it.
Where?
Here, let's jump I guess up in front or maybe
Right over here?
Oh wow, that's a lot of people.
Oh, he looks so different now.
So should we do it in front of the memorial? Like I just need 3 people on one side of I guess the banner and then 3 people on the other, and we just need to slash dance, and then I just need someone to like I don't just Photoshop a coffin in there, and then I can post that meme.
Photoshop a what in there?
A coffin, you know that
A
coffin.
coffin. Okay, I thought you
You
said
know,
another word.
Jared was always posting that fucking meme of the
Yeah, the
this
pallbearers
dude.
like.
Sorry, I'm
Especially
sorry.
the Evangelion one.
Yeah.
Where they said all these guys send you a friend request, and it's those black men from the funerals in this like Louisiana.
Yep.
He sent me the evil one as like the first thing I did when I cosplayed Asuka. Just as like that whole death scene into the coffin dance.
Actually, that's perfect. Let me get in druid form and then get a screenshot. Actually, that looks great because I'm at an angle where it doesn't look like it's an incline. So yeah, if you guys can just dance next to the memorial, that is perf.
Is there enough dancers? Do you want more?
However many. I mean, it's for Jared, so let's get everybody, I guess, dancing next
I'm
to
trying
him.
to squeeze in here. My butt might hit some of you, knock you over.
I was trying to back up the camera, but it collided with the
I need to
The
watch that
Ren.
anime. I always told him I'd watch it. I never got around to it, but now I have to because I owe him that. And I always forget what the space
There
Navy
we
one
go.
is
That's
called.
awesome.
Yamato.
This is called Yamato.
There's 2 versions. There's the original Yamato from the 1970s, and there's one he likes people to watch because it's actually really good. Is Yamato 2199.
How do you get rid of the interface again? Like, is it
Alt
slash?
Z.
Alt Z.
Okay.
From
Does anyone
Canada, Alt Z.
does anyone know where we can watch Space Yamato?
Let me look real quick.
I googled if I didn't look for where to watch. I just had to get the name down. But you can find free stuff anywhere.
Seriously, like, thank you guys for that. Like, I know this is making me so emotional because one of the nights that he was in the hospital, I was like, dude, I'm sad. And he's like, why? I'm like, because I thought about having to make good on this fucking deal about having to get everybody together and dance at your. And he's like, oh, I'm really sorry about that. I'm like, yeah, but it's gonna happen whether you want it to or not. So.
You know,
he's so
sitting there
proud of you.
laughing.
Once
Oh, no,
COVID's over.
He's looking down at this, laughing his ass off that you actually got this done.
Yeah, like that, like this means this for my closure and everything. This means a lot. So thank you.
It's okay, sweetie. I'm hugging you virtually. I'm right there hugging you.
This is
We're all hugging you.
Oh god, my kid just drowned my character.
And like one of the things that Jared loved his mom, and one of the last things I said was like, "Don't worry, Jared. I'll make sure she has people." And then everybody showed up. So thank you guys for this.
Oh, honey.
Happy to be here.
Oh, Aaron, darling.
And thank you for your closing statement, Callie. Statements.
Oh,
I don't have a word.
I forgot to add one part. Could I add one part? You think
Yes,
everybody
that
will listen?
I knew
Absolutely.
that would happen.
Okay, one of, I knew from the beginning Jarod was going to be a little smart ass and just a handful, although
that's
he
great.
was just always the sweetest kid. He had a sense of humor, and I wanted to share with you guys when he was like maybe 2, we went to was it the Azusa swap meet or the Redondo? One swap meet, and because his dad was a vendor there, and so Jarod and I are walking along, and at that time I was like maybe 105 pounds and probably whiter than milk with blonde hair. And I've got Jarod on my arm, and Jarod looked very, very Hispanic as a child, like his dad. And so we're walking along, and suddenly Jared's like, no, no, I want this toy. And he wants to go back, and he's screaming it. And, his dad's waiting for us, and he's going to get mad if I don't bring him back the change. And so I'm kind of like dragging Jared, and he's screaming, no, no, no. And this Mexican family who didn't speak any English comes running out, and they stop us. And the woman grabs Jared's hand, and they're telling me something, and I don't understand it. And so they hold my arm up to Jared's, and they point at my arm and they point at his arm, and
Oh my God.
they shake their heads no. They think this white woman is stealing a Mexican child.
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And Jared looks at them and looks at me, and he's got this little tiny smile on. And they ask him something, and because he doesn't understand, he shakes his head no. So obviously he's just told them that he doesn't know me or I'm not his mom. And like I'm panicking because I'm like a new mom. He's 2 years old. I'm like 20, 21 years old and freaking out with pretty much no self-esteem at that time anyway. And these people are trying to take my child away from me. And I keep trying to get him to Jared, tell these people, and he's just no, no, no. And I'm like, finally, I'm like, okay, what can I do? And then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to resist this. So I said, okay, and I nodded yes to them, and I put my hand up, and I kind of like, okay, and I backed out of their area, and I started walking away, and I said, bye, Jared, mommy loves you, and all of a sudden, the woman's holding his hand, and he screams, mommy, and they let go of him, and he comes over and throws his arms around my
Oh my
legs.
gosh, that's great.
Oh my
Great.
god.
That's amazing,
That's
Callie.
what he gets.
So he started young. It was really great. He played that
Wow.
situation, and my heart was in my throat, and my stomach was all clenched up, and I'm like, oh no, they're taking my baby.
He
Oh my
never did
god.
that again to
Wow.
you.
He never did that. No, no, he learned he learned other good things,
Oh,
He
I'm sure
he
he
was
did.
more one-offs, but yeah,
I know
I
he liked
wouldn't.
to troll you
Started at
in
a young age, that
Warcraft and
troll.
stuff.
I'm sorry?
I
He
said no,
liked
he
to
liked.
what?
I think I know he liked to troll you in Warcraft. Oh, my mom just did this in game. I can't believe that.
Oh, I know. He would, yeah, he would just take
Who is
anything
his
I
mom?
said.
Is she some like little old lady who never played a computer before? What's going on? I had no clue who you were.
Yeah, yeah, he used to really, because nobody used to believe I was mom, even when he was grown. And we went to a restaurant one time, and we're sitting there, and Jared slides over and puts his arm around me, and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. And he looks at the waitress, and he goes, what do you think of my girlfriend? And the
Wow.
waitress, and I'm like, my eyes open up, and I'm horrified, and I'm like, Jared! And the waitress goes, she's very pretty. And I'm like, I'm his mother, and I like elbow him. Stop that. But he did that kind of
poor
shit.
waitress.
Yeah, that poor waitress, right?
She probably like, what kind of family is this?
Have you gone to BlizzCon, Callie, and do you plan on going once things normalize?
I couldn't hear, somebody was laughing. Can you say it again?
Have you gone to BlizzCon, Callie? And if you and will you plan on going once things normalize?
Yes and yes. Yes, I went
Like,
with
I don't know
him.
if I've met you or not. I mean, I've been since 2013, I think.
We should all still do a meetup.
You're talking
Yes.
on a Zach stream
Yes.
that we should definitely arrange meetups so we can continue on the tradition of having Ethiopian food and reminiscing.
I was just gonna
I want to
say
go to that
that's his favorite.
restaurant.
I'm gonna have to go. I mean, if I can afford to go this year, I want to go to that restaurant. If anything, more than BlizzCon.
I just want to get to BlizzCon.
I wanted to add one little bit. Shit. I feel a little awkward bringing it up, but so a while back, we had a promise to do Tier 6 Warrior at BlizzCon one year, and if there's ever a meetup, I'm gonna bring the Bulwark and we can do the coffin dance with that if you guys want.
Yes. Well, yes, I would love to do that. I needed. Yeah.
He would love that.
You need to film it for the rest of us.
I will do that. I will carry that shield for him.
I'm getting back into cosplay too, so I want to do tiered 0.5 or whatever. I'm wearing the Fellheart too, so
Help you 3D print your armor, Aaron.
Woo!
And
Here,
anybody taking props, I have way too many 3D printers and they need to be running.
I will message you all in the Discord and stuff like that and work through that on Facebook.
Whoever's doing the YouTube video of this, please do a at everyone, or I think I'm John Pendragon in Discord as well. Yeah, I just used my name, so I can share that with Carrie so she can read what was going on. I just told her to dance like everyone else was, so she's dancing, so that worked.
I've still got to go through a bunch of Overwatch videos that I played games with Jarod, and I'll try to upload them all with his classic banter and abusing his teammates just for shits and giggles.
Oh yeah, Chris has some amazing vent outrages too, I think, that they've recorded as well.
I have a 10-minute rant from him about the new Dune movie on why Baron Harkonnen was the wrong type of fat. Not that he was like too skinny or too fat, but like the proportions were off, and he really like went at it on that specifics for Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah, the shape.
Yeah.
The weight distribution. He was not happy about that.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of talks because I know he wanted to one day cosplay the fucking miniseries version of Baron Harkonnen because that was. I know everyone hates the miniseries version of Dune, but to him that was his favorite version of Dune was the miniseries.
Not to change subjects, but anybody familiar with Little Britain?
Yes, absolutely.
You're not? Well, if you are familiar with Little Britain, Jarod really wanted to cosplay Bubbles.
Oh, Little Britain. Okay, I know.
Yes, he really wanted to do that. He had the voice down, and yeah, he wanted to get the suit, and he just wanted to do that so bad.
You would have done that so well.
Yeah.
God, I just want to throw in that I've always loved your Asuka cosplay from Evangelion.
What? Who? Who are you talking to?
Kata's.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, everyone. I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm raid lead, but it's just a warning in case you get kicked off and then suddenly no one's around you.
It'll go to someone else in party, whoever was there second.
Or you can pass it to somebody, yeah.
Okay. But thank you, everyone. Thank you for helping out. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you guys
so
for
much.
putting this together.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
really
I
was
think I'm
putting
gonna
this
have to
together.
go.
Yeah, I have to get going too. So.
It's 10 a.m. and I need to sleep before work.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't
yeah.
eaten breakfast yet. I forgot to eat breakfast this morning.
Same here.
And I'm about to make dinner.
Same
so.
here.
I'm eating.
Thank you.
That's about.
I was late. I didn't know it was snowing, and I decided to go do some stuff. And apparently,
Oh, may the Jarod be with you.
yeah, like the snow was no fun to drive in.
All love, and I hope that we're able to get that NPC in soon. And I hope everyone's doing well. I'm sure throughout the Facebook groups or Discord, at least personally, if anyone needs anything, just let us know, and someone will be there for you.
All right, guys, I'm going to send it off to Lullaboo. She is doing Castle Nathria. So if you're wanting to keep WoW content going, I'm going to step away from my computer for a bit and kind of de-stress from this because it was a lot to kind of go through this. But thank you everyone who showed up. I really appreciate it. Everyone was respectful, and hearing everyone's stories of Jarod was really nice. I think that helped a lot of us to participate in this. Anyways, if you decide to stick around, tell Lullaboo hi, and if you want to see more of my content, this is only self-promo audio, hit that follow button, and I'll be streaming tomorrow night around 9 or 10 Pacific. Thanks everyone for coming out, and Michelle, thank you for the shout out on Twitter. That helped a lot, so thank you so much. Love you, Jarod.
Myself, a mage, and another guy. So it's like, no, take this port of the dollar. I don't have to jump down and